Welcome into the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, as Real Madrid ramp up the UEFA Super Cup preparations with their final US Tour match against Italian giants Juventus. I'll be a match commentator, Keith Costigan, joined by former Crystal Palace and Millwall defender Matty Lawrence. Matty, Real Madrid have played a number of stars throughout the tournament, but 10 days away from a Super Cup performance, we're going to see the very best of Real Madrid tonight.
Yeah, this is it. This is the starting 11. Certainly one I would assume has every chance of starting against Eintracht Frankfurt in that Super Cup game. It's going to be a wonderful game here. We know it's going to be a packed house. We know it's sold out. I don't think we've seen the best of Real Madrid yet, as you've said. I think they've been sides that they maybe wouldn't want to show, wouldn't want to illuminate that Super Cup game. The draw, obviously, in the last game against Club America here in San Francisco, and obviously also the loss against Barcelona, when for me, they got obliterated. I know it's only 1-0, but they got embarrassed. No shots on target. Very easy night, really, for Barcelona, especially the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and it got chippy as well against Club America late on in that one too. Let's look to the other side, Juventus. They've gone 2 years now without a Serie A title. Max Allegri was brought back in to put them back on the map in terms of European football. How big a pre-season friendly is this for them tonight?
I think it's a big pre-season friendly. I think they want to do well. I think it would be more about actually how they perform rather than the result. I don't think the result is that important. But you're right. Look, it's been a steady decline over the last 4 years for Juventus. Yes, 3 years ago they won the title, but even the season before that, when they won it as well, they had 90 points. 83 the last time they won the title, then down to 78 points, then only 70 points last season. So really, it has been that steady and slow decline. I think that Max Allegri needs to get something this season in terms of silverware. Maybe not winning the Serie A, because I think they're a long way behind the likes of Inter and AC right now.
Well, 16 points behind Milan in the final standings last campaign. They did make a big splash mid-season. Dusan Vlahovic, he only had a couple of months with Juve. We saw some flashes, but a big season for him, a big night for him as well here tonight.
Yeah, very much. I'll be really intrigued to see how he does. I think the introduction of Di Maria, obviously coming in from PSG. I think Paul Pogba coming in from Manchester United was a massive splash, even though he's on a free transfer, of course. But Pogba, we know, is already out. For me, a lot is resting on the shoulders of Vlahovic and of Di Maria as well.
Yeah, and a Juventus side, you mentioned no Paul Pogba through injury.
Yeah.
They have mixed in a couple of young players. They've one more pre-season friendly coming next week against Real Madrid's bitter rivals Atletico Madrid before they open the Serie A campaign. But for Real Madrid, did you see, you mentioned the first game against Barcelona, did you see an improvement with Karim Benzema in the starting lineup against Club America on Tuesday night?
Yes. Partly because of Benzema being so good, but also because having Eden Hazard as the lone centre-forward, it just didn't work. We know that he doesn't play there. He made it quite obvious, I think, that he doesn't really want to play there either. He was a number 9, but certainly playing as a very false 9, because he never really played as a striker. He's not somebody who's going to show up. He certainly doesn't want to play with his back to goal. I think he's somebody who wants to get the ball in and around the centre circle, turn and run at defences. It's very hard to do that when you're supposed to be playing as a striker. Look, Real Madrid is exponentially better and a completely different side with Benzema in it. He's a talent, a true talent, we know that. And we've seen that from his goals last season, not only domestically, of course, in La Liga, but also in the Champions League as well, when they seem to be behind in nearly every game, whether it be in the first leg, whether it be in a specific game itself. And then just that self-belief this squad has got, and they've kept most of those players as well.
And maybe the biggest transfer story is the transfer that didn't happen this summer for Real Madrid. We all thought Kylian Mbappe was going to be the new number 9 coming in. That did not materialise, but there's been no panic from Carlo Ancelotti or anybody else at Real Madrid. They are determined, they say, this time to get the right man and prepared to wait. And they feel like Karim Benzema, although 34 years of age, still has a couple of years left at the very top of European football.
It does. That's a fact, isn't it? As long as he steers clear of injury, and we don't know anything about that, of course, it can be bad luck. He could get injured tonight, could get injured in the first game of La Liga season, but we don't want that to happen to him, because I think first and foremost, we're all football fans. Whether we're neutrals or not, whether we're Liverpool fans or Man City fans or Juventus fans, you want to see the best players on show. And Benzema is one of those players, that's for certain. I hope he stays fit, stays healthy, and of course has a season very similar to last.
And Real Madrid fashionably late to the arrival in the tunnel to come out on the field. And I guess when you're European champions, everybody will wait for you, right?
We have to wait for them, don't we? That's for certain. If we didn't wait for them, it wouldn't be much of a game, that's for certain. But Juventus, yes, they were there waiting, as they should be in the tunnel. But yeah, Real Madrid, all in purple at the moment. Yeah, very, very late to the scene.
San Francisco on Tuesday night, there was a pretty even spread in terms of fan bases. Club America, massive following all over California. Tonight, I think it's safe to say, Juventus fans severely outnumbered. Real Madrid are the team in this region. The fans come out in force, and we're expecting a sellout 90,000 plus inside the Rose Bowl this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I was lucky enough to be in Dallas for Barcelona against Juventus, and similar to tonight, on that occasion, the only Juventus shirts in the Cotton Bowl were the ones on the field. There weren't any anywhere else. So yeah, very much a Barcelona-heavy crowd on that night in Dallas, and very much this evening a very Real Madrid-heavy crowd here today.
Leonardo Bonucci, the skipper now for Juventus, Giorgio Chiellini, has, of course, moved on. He's actually playing in this city now at LAFC. His teammates went to support him last night. But for Real Madrid, they're just a couple of months removed from a Champions League win. And guess what? It's the same 11 tonight for Carlo Ancelotti that lifted that title in Paris.
And that's no surprise. You've said they're 1 week further ahead, aren't they, than Juventus? Juventus still have another friendly to play. So no surprise that Real Madrid, this is the starting 11. This is the best 11 on show for Carlo Ancelotti and Real Madrid.
And if you're to believe some of the press recently, Militao and Vinicius Jr. about to tie the long-term futures to Real Madrid as well, with new long-term contracts expected to be announced when they get back to Spain. The other side of things for Juventus, a mix of youth and experience for them tonight. The big news, no Szczesny and goal. Perrin will step in. What else stands out for you in this lineup?
Well, for me, it's that pairing of Bonucci and Bremer. They paid an awful lot of money, nearly $50 million for Bremer from Torino. We know Torino's very au fait with Serie A, of course, having played for Torino. So this is a big pairing, and one as a former centre-half. I want to see how they're going to gel, Bremer and Bonucci.
Well, Max Allegri, so much success in his first spell at Juventus. He did lose a Champions League final to Real Madrid. We'll talk a little bit more about that throughout tonight's matchup. But he's come back, and, well, they say you should never go back, and so far it's been difficult for Max Allegri to get Juventus back to the very pinnacle of Serie A.
I thoroughly agree. It's been really difficult. They've been 16 points behind Milan last season, 14 points behind Inter, even 9 points behind Napoli. That is so far from success for a team of the magnitude of Juventus that it's not even funny. And maybe Allegri will tell you, as hindsight, maybe you shouldn't have come back. I think this is a massive season for Allegri and Juventus Football Club.
On the other side of things, Carlo Ancelotti, a little over 12 months ago, was on Merseyside. He was the Everton manager after a mid-table finish, and all of a sudden, he's back at the very top of the game and managing Real Madrid to an historic double.
Well, what a massive fall from grace from Everton to Real Madrid and La Liga champions and Champions League champions as well. Yeah, who'd have thought it? Leave Everton Football Club, and that's what happens.
Our match referee today is Michael Ranchuk. Real Madrid, looks like they are going to kick things off. It's Canary who get to wear the black and white strip. They'll be attacking from left to right. Luka Modric, 36 years young and still going strong. He gets us underway. Real Madrid, the European champions, in the final match of the summer tour, and immediately a ball in behind Valverde. Two inside the area, Benzema! A goal inside the first 15 seconds, but the flag has gone up. What a start that would have been.
Well, Keith, absolutely remarkable. 20,000 fans still aren't inside this stadium. It's a great early it's offside. But Benzema doing what Benzema does best.
Incredible. It certainly wasn't the goal scorer. I think it was the ball before that where Valverde went in behind. Alaba, Casemiro. David Alaba, who's won 10 Bundesliga titles, comes across to Real Madrid and wins a La Liga title. Ball back for Thibaut Courtois, who was rested for that San Francisco matchup. And then the young Ukrainian goalkeeper, and Lucas Canizares, the son of Santi Canizares, the famous Spanish goalkeeper. Both played. Lucas Canizares almost had a penalty save against Fidalgo as well, laid on in that one. Modric, Militao, Cruz. Ball out wide. Just too much on the pass further forward. Ferland Mendy and Vinicius, who got the winning goal. Manny, I think it's safe to say with Vinicius, he's won over his teammates. There was times you could sense frustration from some of the veteran midfielders, but as the season went along, he became a lot more consistent, culminating in that all-important goal in Paris.
Yeah, I think so. I think he flattered to deceive at times early on in his Real Madrid career, but I agree, last season he really came of age. And as you say, it doesn't culminate any better than that, does it, in that winning goal in the Champions League final.
Angel Di Maria against his former club, winning a corner kick. He was probably welcomed by some of the Real Madrid faithful here. I remember his time. Just went on to PSG and now trying to force his way into the Argentina squad for the upcoming World Cup, which I still have not got used to saying the Winter World Cup.
Please don't ever get used to it.
Whipped in Courtois, who was man of the match in Paris a couple of months ago. Comfortable, but then almost gave it away. Vinicius with a chance to go forward. Nice ball inside for Benzema. He scored an absolutely world-class goal against Club America. Valverde, Modric. Valverde, good play again from Real Madrid. They look really on the game here early on.
Yeah, very much more on the game for me, just as you say that. Of course, commentators curse, they give the ball away, but you are right. They started well early on, obviously had that goal disallowed inside the first 15, 16 seconds. But certainly against Barcelona, they were very much second best. Not only because they didn't have a shot on target, not only because they didn't dictate and dominate possession, but Barcelona really squeezed high on Real Madrid, and they really struggled to break that pressure, Real Madrid, which is very much a surprise for a side of the quality and the technical ability of Real Madrid. But of course, it wasn't this 11 on show against Barca.
Valverde, Carvajal. Some managers would get a little bit flustered when they lose a Clásico, but not Mr. Ancelotti.
Nothing flusters him, that's for certain. He's been there, done it, seen everything.
Valverde, he's been really lively so far, and he's won a free kick here. Locatelli goes across, and he's pleading his innocence. It did look like there was contact.
Well, there was certainly a little bit of contact, but also it's not the sort of challenge you want to see in pre-season. Valverde obviously with some nice tight control. But then you see that challenge. It's a poor challenge from Locatelli, and luckily Valverde's leg, foot wasn't planted, otherwise that could have been a little bit nasty. You never want to see that type of challenge, certainly not in pre-season. But of course we're getting closer. The players want to have those 50-50 tackles, but they certainly don't need that type of leg breaker almost. It certainly had the propensity to be from Locatelli.
This is a long way out, but Toni Kroos, the obvious right-footed option. Alaba is known to go for goal from this distance. Instead, they've gone on a training ground routine to Valverde, and it's gone horribly wrong.
It certainly was something they've worked on previously, of course. But to hit that moving ball coming across you as it was for Valverde, it's a tough skill. Certainly one he's managed in training, of course, time after time. But it didn't happen here on match day.
Bremer goes to Mathieu Perret. Half-time Genoa goalkeeper. Modric. Gives it away cheaply. Until he goes back for Bremer. You can hear the chants. No doubt about who the favourites of the fans are here in Pasadena. Modric. Moves it back in the high position. Lovely dummy from Benzema. And almost too quick for Vinicius.
Absolutely, 100%. He was just thinking one move ahead. Vinicius wasn't on the same wavelength.
He's got another opportunity. Sandro with a really cheap giveaway. Vinicius going at two defenders and he's just run into them. Good play from Bonucci, just dropped off. That was a let-off for Juventus, who've given the ball away cheaply on a couple of occasions now. Just trying to calm things down for Juve in the midfield. Dusan Vlahovic. So much expected of him. He loses out that time. Benzema. Vinicius making the run further forward, trying to slip him through. Good piece of defending. Bonucci.
It's a couple of times now, isn't it, in quick succession. Bonucci, I don't quite want to say he's shown his experience, but he has shown that ability to read the game that we know he has. As you've mentioned a little bit earlier on, Keith, no more Chiellini. I just envisage those two guys being sat together in the training ground, in the dressing room, on the back of the bus playing cards. I just think those guys have been on the same wavelength for year upon year. Now he needs a new partner, and he's found one in Bremer.
Modric. Good movement from Benzema. He just drops into that pocket, turns and faces up. Absolute nightmare for a centre-back to play against.
A centre-back needs help from the player playing in that holding midfield position ahead of them, because that's what he loves to do. Benzema, drop 5-10 yards off those centre-halves. That's when you need Locatelli to be playing on his toes. That's all down to communication as well. The communication has to come from Bremer and from Bonucci in telling Locatelli exactly where Benzema is going. And does it again.
Yeah, Benzema again finding a pocket. Valverde again trying to find Benzema. That one's well cut out. It might not make Juventus feel any better, but pretty much every team has had the same issue with trying to lock down that space that Benzema will exploit.
And I think he's just one of those players that you know exactly what he's going to do, but it's still tough to stop. It's like Bayern Munich and Arjen Robben, when Robben used to cut in from the right-hand side and curl it into that top corner, or Carlos Vela at LAFC. You know exactly what he's going to do, but it's hard to stop sometimes. When players have that much quality, they've seen everything defensively, and it remains really hard for you to stop it. And Benzema, just sheer class. World class, you called it, I agree.
With a cheap giveaway moments ago, and Real Madrid again on the front foot. Carvajal. Casemiro. Cruz. Modric. Carvajal staying very high, as Lucas Vazquez did against Club America in that right-back position. Cruz. A couple of young midfielders now, Real Madrid, and Aurelien Tchouameni and Camavinga. You wonder if that's the future. Don't tell Toni Kroos and Luka Modric that.
It's certainly the future, but it's one that Toni Kroos hopes is the future in 2 or 3 years' time, rather than this season or next, that's for sure. Tchouameni and Camavinga are undoubted talents.
Vinicius, and again just a little bit too much on it from the young Brazilian, who hasn't had the best start on that left-hand side. But in for Locatelli. Of course, Juventus do have in the ranks US international Weston McKennie in midfield as well.
Shame, that's in it, on this sort of pre-season tour, this pre-season tour that we haven't seen him.
Playing that ball for Sandro, gets in behind. Sandro gets his cross in, flicked towards the far post. And cleared by Ferland Mendy. That was much better from Juventus, and it was a marauding run forward from the left-back, Alexandra, that started it.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes into the game. That's really the first time that Juventus have caused any problems for this back line of Real Madrid.
Bonucci. Locatelli goes back to Bonucci. First time Real Madrid have been back into their own half of the field. Zakaria, the former Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder. Bremer. Sandro. Locatelli. This is better from Juventus, but good pressure as well. Well played to get out of that pressure. Now there's options on for Juve. Vlahovic, and that one just behind her. It wasn't a foul. Yes, it was. Free kick in a really good position. Good run from Dusan Vlahovic.
It's Fagioli who's been fouled. And again, it's another one of those sliding challenges. Because he's slightly out of position here, Casemiro absolutely nowhere near the man. Well, nowhere near the ball, rather, very near to the man. Just lifts that right leg as Fagioli's trying to jump over him. It's a yellow card in a game, that is for certain, in a real game that's not a pre-season friendly.
Two options further forward as well. Vlahovic and Di Maria had made a really good run too. Now it's going to be a free kick, and this may well be in shooting distance. So angry watching on.
Well, you have to believe here that this will be a direct shot. So 26, 27 yards out here. Left footer and right footer over the ball.
Sandro and Bonucci. Let's see if Bonucci's pulled rank here. Let's go for goal, and it's off the woodwork.
But it's certainly not very often that the centre-half can call off the forward player. If this is another couple of yards out, this may just dip down and hit the target. This one just grazes the top of the bar from Bonucci.
The high press continues here. That's much better again from Juventus. And this one might fall for them. Chance. Thibaut Courtois is down, and it's a complete miss-hit of a shot. Zakaria breaking in from midfield. It's going to be a goal kick, but it was mistakes at the back from Real Madrid that opened things up. And it really should have been punished.
They should be. And this is how they struggled, Real Madrid, against Barcelona. Here Vlahovic just gets in the way of Zakaria. He wanted it. He's a centre-forward, Vlahovic. Even though his back's to goal, he wanted to get on that rebound. But he shouldn't have. Vlahovic should have just got out of the way. Then Zakaria, for me, would have hit the target without a shadow of a doubt. But Real Madrid, tonight, they have the starting 11 we would expect. Hasn't played together, certainly in this pre-season.
Juventus absolutely caught napping. Vinicius made a really good run, not offside because it's a throw-in. Finds Benzema, well defended. Zakaria got back in and made the challenge. Lovely piece of industry from Vinicius to recognise that high defensive line.
That's just a number of players caught ball watching, players of the quality of Bremer and Bonucci caught ball watching. Quite remarkable.
At full stretch, and is this one going to go out and play for a corner? Yes, it is. Fascinating match so far. Really good start from Real Madrid. Juventus have responded.
It's not just about a quarter of an hour in, and we've got a real football match on our hands, and we shouldn't be surprised about that when you've got two giants of football like Real Madrid and Juventus. And as you've mentioned, just days away from that first game, that first true competitive game for Real Madrid.
Cruz goes for Vinicius. Cruz back for Modric. Twists and turns, gets it on his left foot. Never had enough purchase on it to really trouble. Carvajal. Valverde goes onto his left foot and over hits the cross. Out of play for the Juventus goal kick.
Yeah, I agree. I think the cross is over-hit, but also I think there'll be the expectancy from Valverde that someone will be pulling around that back post, and nobody is. Everybody had congregated in between the goalposts. Nobody, Vinicius Junior, would expect him just to drop off and maybe curl a run towards that back stick. Nothing happened, though. Just made Valverde's cross look way over-hit.
Both sides have tried to press when the opportunity presents itself. Really warm day today in California, but cooling down now here as the sun sets in Pasadena. Very nice touch for Bonucci. Bremer. Nice ball forward. Fagioli. Di Maria, good challenge, really good tackle. Benzema, Casemiro, Madrid. Benzema again just drifting and trying to pick out a pass for Vinicius. Really good read from Bonucci, but we're seeing every facet of Karim Benzema's game. Not just a goal scorer, he can be a provider as well.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to watch that El Clasico in Las Vegas, and it was a Benzema-less Real Madrid side, and it is that kind of ability, that type of player to drop a little deeper, find pockets of space that they missed on that evening. Certainly aren't missing it here. He's probably the best player for me so far, Karim Benzema for Real Madrid.
Benzema, being the real danger man so far again. He just seems to find a way to turn and face up against the opposition. Cruz. It's a cheap giveaway and a rare giveaway from him. And a chance to come the other way for Juventus. Di Maria, Vlahovic. And it's given right back. Now Vinicius has a bit of space up against Bonucci. Benzema on the overlap. Vinicius going to go alone. Is he taken down? Certainly looked that way. And the penalty's given. Just a clip on the back of the ankle from Vinicius. But what a run from Benzema to open up that space as well. Juventus complain, but I think when we watch a replay, it's going to be pretty clear. This was a penalty.
Well, we've got no VAR on show here, so this is 100% a penalty, we know that, and it's the correct decision as well for Michael Radchuk. And what an absolutely dreadful giveaway here from Vlahovic. It's a really poor pass, you have to covet the ball, you have to want to possess it, and this run from Benzema, just overlapping Vinicius Junior, just opens the whole game up for the Real Madrid forward, and he just cuts inside towards that penalty spot, and he is clipped. 100% a penalty. Dreadful play here from Juventus. Cannot give the ball away there against a team of that attacking prowess of this purple-clad Real Madrid side.
A big moment for Matteo Perren in goal tonight. He's tasked with trying to deny Karim Benzema from the penalty spot. Many people's favourite for the Ballon d'Or, Karim Benzema! Couldn't have hit it any better. Keeper gets right. But it was with such precision from Benzema that he was not going to get there, and Real Madrid have the opening goal at the Rose Bowl.
Well, the best player on show tonight has provided us with the first goal. Yes, it's come from the penalty spot, an unopposed strike from 12 yards, of course, but Benzema hits it truly. Hits it with pace and with precision. Absolutely nothing Perrin can do. Here's the foul. Absolutely 100% a foul. DeLillo can point at the ball as much as he wants, but the ball's the round spherical thing. He gets nowhere near it. It's a foul. And this is how to take a penalty, Keith. The goalkeeper can guess the right way if he wants. Gets nowhere near it. Clasping at thin air. 1-0 to Real Madrid, I think a deserved 1-0 too.
And all from a giveaway. Vinicius, well, he was taken down, but again, Karim Benzema playing a huge part in that as well. 34 years of age, and still willing to make the overlapping run to open up space for others.
Absolutely, willing to be unselfish. I think he knew he wasn't going to get the ball. I think that was a run merely to take defenders away. And of course, when you've got Benzema overlapping, it's no wonder that the Juventus defenders are all of a sudden just keeping their eye on him, moving towards him. Opens the space up. A terrible challenge as well from Danilo.
Kelly making a run further forward. Di Maria. And a cheap giveaway. Vinicius. The ball inside for Benzema. Cruz. And Valverde is wide open on the far side. And Cruz did have a look, and he might have said that at this stage of pre-season might be a little bit out of range.
Yeah, possibly. Hasn't done those quad weights in the last couple of weeks, maybe, but yes, normally Cruz can hit that ball. He's got that passing range, we know it.
Some of you struggling to get up here as well today. You haven't been there.
Oh yeah, well, not at all. I needed oxygen by the time I got up here. And I was in the elevator.
through and it fizzed all the way. I don't think Moyes' Keane was expecting it initially. I don't think it was intended for him. Trying to play for the goal kick.
No, but there's just that little bit of discord, isn't there, up front. I think Di Maria sometimes loves to flit inside into the middle of the field, but he's playing more on the right-hand side here.
So it's better from Juventus. Keane just about keeps it in play. Sandro alongside him, a good challenge from Militao. It's a real physical battle, and the free kick goes against the Juventus striker. Militao, Matty, another one that took a while to win over the fans. He came in and, well, you have Sergio Ramos, you have him looming large when you're a Juventus centre-back. He's coming off an excellent campaign.
Yeah, he is, and I think slowly but surely he's growing into this team as well here at Real Madrid. This is certainly a foul from Moyes Keane. I don't think there's a lot of malice in it, not a real great deal of intent, but yeah, it is a free kick.
I think he took a knock where time is the only healer for that injury.
Just checking everything's in place, Militao.
We've all been there. Towards Valverde. Well won by Valverde as well.
Yeah, Benzema just gave him a little clap there. I don't think Benzema was expecting that. You've always got to be gambling, expecting a teammate to win a flick on. But maybe Benzema's just seen Valverde's heading in training and didn't think that was quite possible.
These two sides met in the 2017 Champions League final. Just a hint or a way of showing the longevity of this Real Madrid team. 5 of the players that started in 2017 are starting this evening as well.
What a great statistic that is. That really is, as you say, for those players to be at their peak as well as way back as 2017 and all here, all together, still the core, the nucleus of that side, and still winning. I think that's the main point, Keith.
Juventus, Alexandro and Leonardo Bonucci both started that game. Possession here in midfield. They have options for Di Maria. Di Maria just turning into pressure. He managed to keep himself going forward. Vlahovic looking for another free kick. Sandro. Ragioli. The ball in behind, and good piece of defending. Casemiro not only wins it, but he keeps it in play as well. Well, he almost gave it right back to Juventus.
It's a holding midfielder's job as well, and Casemiro does it so well. We know that early we did give a poor free kick away on the edge of the penalty area. Apart from that, he's been pretty flawless so far, Casemiro.
Bit of pressure.
Yeah, we know that sometimes under pressure, Militao maybe doesn't quite crumble, but we know he doesn't perform always the best under pressure. We saw him in the earlier pre-season friendly in Vegas when he gave the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area. That resulted in a goal for Barcelona. It was the winner for Barca.
Free kick here for Juventus. That win, incidentally, for Real Madrid in Paris, 14th Champions League title. And Juventus, on the other hand, have lost 7 finals. They've been to the final on 9 occasions. So when you consider the elite of European competition, Real Madrid just seem to elevate themselves into another level all by themselves. Zakaria, good defensive play from Alaba. It's going to be a throw-in for Juve. These two remember each other from their time in the Bundesliga, I'm sure.
Yeah, they certainly do. You talk about Real Madrid, and that's what winners do, isn't it? They perform under pressure as well, and against the best of the best, the elite, the best in Europe. Real Madrid, they don't seem to lose many finals.
Danilo, nice angle on that cross for the right footer. Valverde, back for Carvajal. 5 Champions Leagues for Carvajal at that right-back position. Well, that wide for Vinicius, good read by Danilo. Di Maria again, just pocket pick by Toni Kroos. Jolie, nice ball out wide from Moise Keane. He's been quiet so far. Down low, an Everton man, as Jolie. Give her the ball in behind, good run from Vlahovic. Sandro whips that one in, and Ferland Mendy. A nervy touch back towards Courtois. But it works out well for the French defender. Smash it again, and that's not a great ball. Militao on his appeals for a penalty. All the Juve fans in attendance. Militao was at full stretch. It was an awful ball on Ferland Mendy. Actually, it was a Vinicius, I think it might have ended up with the pass, and the referee being surrounded by Juventus players. You mentioned it, Matty, no VAR tonight, so on-field decision stands.
Yeah, look, we know that Di Maria has that propensity to go over easily, and certainly will make a meal of things. But this was very, very close. I haven't seen another look at it, but at the time I thought there was every chance this could be a penalty. It was a really close one. But the main crux of the matter is, don't play a square ball across your own penalty area. It really is. For Mendy here, it's difficult to tell at full speed, so if Michael Radjuk's got it wrong, you can see why. I think Di Maria gets to the ball, but at a very similar time to Militao.
You've seen those given though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've certainly seen those given, that's for certain, and I still stick with it. At match speed, I thought it was a penalty. This would need to go to VAR and would need to be looked at time and time again and slowed down and seen from different angles, of course.
I just wonder if the players knew there was no VAR, and pre-season, of course, but they did surround the referee, Michael Radchuk, and he was kind of just saying that, well, the decision's already been made, we move on. We have a bit of a water break because of the hot temperatures here.
Well, as you see that again, it almost looks 50-50. It almost looks as though they get to the ball at exactly the same time. I think Militao will just about say he gets to the ball first. I don't quite want to sit on the fence, Keith, but I'm thoroughly happy to sit on the fence here. And
who would be a referee? That's
exactly.
all I'm going to say.
Well, not me, that's for sure.
Not a very good one, anyway.
No, that'd be dreadful.
Max Allegri talking to Fagioli, who has been lively in midfield. He's got on the ball a couple of times. Well, it is a stunning venue. It hosted the 1994 World Cup. Juventus fans, Italian fans won't want that mentioned too many times. Beautiful setting here in Pasadena. Well, the only goal so far has come because Vinicius was taken down. There's the challenge.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul, this one. Dinello claims he plays the ball, but this is how to dispatch a penalty, isn't it, from Benzema? The goalkeeper guesses the right way, Perrin, but just the power and the precision takes the ball past Perrin. Doesn't even get fingertips to it.
Are we looking at the Ballon d'Or winner this year?
No, it'll probably go to Lionel Messi or Ronaldo as normal, but yes, we should be looking at the Ballon d'Or winner, that is for certain. I'll take my tongue-in-cheek comments away. Of course, 100% Karim Benzema should be the Ballon d'Or winner. And look, he's showing why here as well tonight. And yes, I know a pre-season friendly. I know an exhibition game, if you will. He's the best player on the park right now, and at 34 years of age, in a pre-season friendly. He could claim that he could be taking a breather. Should be in the starting 11 for that Super Cup game, whether he performs well or not tonight.
Moise Keane trying to get in behind Militao, utilising that pace of his to get across.
Oh, because Keane's quick as well. And Militao's equally fast as well. It's a great thing for a centre-half, maybe somebody who doesn't read the game as well as, say, a Bonucci. But if you can be reliant on that quick pace over the first 5-10 yards, as Militao is, certainly helps you out.
Up on a half an hour here in at the Rose Bowl. Again, but that's been sold out. The fans still arriving in right now. It's not the easiest of venue to get to. When you get here, you still have a trek to get into the stadium.
Yeah, but we can still see fans filtering into the venue, can't we? We know it is sold out, but certainly not a capacity crowd here yet.
Vinicius running behind this time from Cruz. Doesn't do this often. Pulls it back. Benzema inside the area. Tries to play that ball across. Carvajal takes a good first touch. He got Support from Valverde. Carvajal crossed towards the far post and it is ran out of play. But they had so many runners from so many different angles there, Real Madrid in the attack. Polar opposite to what we saw in that Clásico last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Bodies are getting forward very quickly, and the two fullbacks, sorry, are getting forward as well. Almost there. Carvajal got so far forward. Valverde was getting in his way. Should have called him off really at the back post there, Carvajal. But again, it's about Benzema, isn't it? And that willingness to be unselfish, even when he's got the ball in the penalty area, he doesn't always shoot, trying to pick out a teammate.
Good win again from Juventus. Has been really good at centre-back so far for Real Madrid. Vinicius. By equally impressive Bonucci.
Bonucci just a little bit different centre-half to Militao. We've talked about Militao's reliance on pace. Bonucci certainly doesn't. It's all about reading the game. Almost, for me, growing up watching Alan Hansen, that type of player who never gets their knees dirty, never has to slide in. They read the game so well, and Bonucci certainly does that.
And the wave going around the Rose Bowl right now, the atmosphere ramping up a notch. Looking comfortable playing that ball back in. And again, Juventus winning it high. Vlahovic.
Look, it's intriguing that you mentioned that about Mendy and his uncomfortableness on the ball at times. That's why there's a lot of talk about Rudiger maybe playing left back for Real Madrid. And certainly he performed pretty well in their last friendly game. Rudiger did for Real Madrid.
Modric. One foot to the defender again. 36 years of age, but still going really strong. Benzema, 34, Cruz, 32. Veterans, but still masters of the craft.
Yeah, but almost in the modern game, at 32, maybe 34, that's not so much of a veteran. We see players going on longer than that. You only need to look at Ibrahimovic. I know he may be one of the only ones, but you look at a Ronaldo, I think mid-30s, players still have that ability to play. The way they look after themselves, the sports scientists, the nutritionists, players are easily able to go into their mid-30s.
Vinicius, Modric, Valverde, Carvajal could go for goal. Instead he tried to cross. I thought the angle was on for him to strike. He was trying to be unselfish. He's won a corner, but he could have had so much more.
But in trying to be unselfish, I think he's trying to cross the ball back in between five defenders. It makes it very difficult. I think you're right with your first assumption. Strike the ball across the goalkeeper, that was the option.
The short corner doesn't come off and it's out of play for the goal kick. Carvajal, though, Matt, he had some difficult time. I remember the performance against Paris Saint-Germain where Kylian Mbappe seemed to have his way with him, but ever resilient Real Madrid last year. Found a way in games, even when they weren't at their best.
Yeah, but look, sometimes you can't blame a player by being done up by Kylian Mbappe, either one of the best in the world, as we know. And what we also know about the best players in the world, somebody like a Carvajal at his position, is just because they have a bad game, they don't let it affect them. They get back out on that training ground, they watch video, they realise what they did wrong.
Big fans. The expectation he was going to go for goal there, and instead he tried to find Valverde. Now he's gone all the way to the far post. Vinicius towards that far post, but too close to pin it.
Yeah, you see what Vinicius is aiming for there. For Benzema at the far post, there's 3 or 4 Juventus shirts around him though. Really difficult ball, trying to thread the eye of the needle there, Vinicius.
Press coming from Real Madrid again, this time won by Alaba. Cruz. Modric thought about shooting, Carvajal on the overlap again. There's some back in between two, but Cruz chases it down. Casemiro, not just overlapping fullbacks. We now have Alaba as a left winger. He plays central midfield for the Austrian national team.
Yeah, but he knows he's got Casemiro there, who's just willing to sit in as a left centre-half. They've just switched positions now.
They're going to have to get back quickly here because Vlahovic trying to lead the counter. Di Maria. Juventus just one of those clubs that do find value in some of the older players. Not afraid to bring in someone like Di Maria. They have Bonucci, of course, still leading that back line.
Have more ability to do that in Serie A as well. I think it's slightly slower paced as well. And Di Maria will fit in pretty well there. As I say, Di Maria and Pogba in that first friendly that I saw Juventus playing against Chivas Guadalajara. A team not quite of the same ability, of course, as Real Madrid, but they were very, very influential. Just a real shame that Pogba already this early on has got injured.
I think everybody would agree that Paul Pogba's best spell as a club player came in Juventus colours. Benzema out wide. Vinicius making a run away, just trying to open up the space for Benzema. Benzema inside the area, still has it, still Benzema, and Perrin comes out as well. Really good defending from Bonucci too.
Yeah, do you think Bonucci's seen that before? Yes, he has. He kind of, well, not kind of, totally shows Benzema onto his left foot. Benzema, as you know, wants to cut back onto his right foot. Even with Bonucci offering up that angle to take a shot with the left foot, he tries to cut back. Bonucci's seen that before.
Pre-season or not, you see the very best against the very best in that kind of situation. Di Maria just not coming back from an offside position.
Well, yes, the best against the best. But you see winners not wanting to lose as well, whether it's pre-season, whether it's tiddlywinks, whether it's a game of cards, those type of people, they are born to win. There's no way they want to have any let-up here. Bonucci absolutely top drawer, as is Benzema.
Vinicius. Started on the right, but he's come in so often because Carvajal just steps out in that wing position. Here is Dani Carvajal. In for Casemiro.
Almost anybody in this Real Madrid side has that licence to roam. We talked about Alaba being at left wing, then knowing that Casemiro would sit in at left centre-half. Not only very good players, they're unselfish players as well. Fully understanding of the game, these Real Madrid players. As you see, even here, Benzema almost dropping into a left-back position.
Here's Carvajal. See the ball back inside for Valverde. Pulls back to the edge of the penalty area, but it was Locatelli who was well positioned. Headed it forward, but Takani won it back for Juventus. Vlahovic, who's a big, powerful, almost like a throwback number 9. Rough Premier League clubs were interested, but he only wanted Juventus signing for the club on his 22nd birthday. Bonucci takes a deflection and falls kindly for Modric. Casemiro. Benzema trying to get back onside, he does. Now the ball slipped towards him. Good defending from Brennan. Good pace to get across there in front of Karim Benzema, the new Juve centre-back.
It's all about knowing the players, isn't it? If you're playing the ball into Benzema, you want it played into his feet. You don't want it playing into his path where he's got to run after it, especially when he's up against Clemmer there. There's only one winner, it wasn't Benzema.
It's just ball in behind for Luka Modric. Flag stares down. Mendy, Vinicius. Step forward. Not quite sure if that's what Carlo Ancelotti has scripted in his team talk, but Alaba perhaps getting a little bit bored in the centre-back role.
Yeah, and again though, Casemiro had sat back into that position. Had a camera shot there, we'd just given each other a little bit of a pat, Casemiro and Alaba. As I say, understanding of the game, all of these Real Madrid players, Casemiro certainly does. Anytime he sees Alaba overlapping him, he just sits back in straight alongside Militao.
Clear inside to Carvajal, who nonchalantly just chests it to himself. Moments like that, you know you're watching the best in European competition. Reigning Champions League winners. Days away from that UEFA Super Cup game against Eintracht Frankfurt, who won the Europa League in a very entertaining final against Glasgow Rangers.
Seeing a difference in the two sides here. Of course, Real Madrid are a better side than Juventus, but also we're seeing different centre forwards. Benzema's been highly dominant for Real Madrid. Vlahovic has been wildly anonymous. He hasn't been in the game at all. We call him an old-school centre forward, I tend to agree. Unless you can get the ball into him, he is anonymous. It's been an abject performance from him, but it's not just his fault.
Mendy, Vinicius. To come inside. Good ball up for Benzema, back for Vinicius. It might fall again for Benzema. Waiting for Alexander to come across and just intercept. And then Juve almost give it right back, but then will take no chances as it clears. So only as far as Madrid. Pressure coming again here from the European champions. Ball in behind Vinicius. And that near post. Would have had to be so precise to beat the goalkeeper. You like the confidence of the young man.
Yeah, I don't know whether he just had a little look up here, though, Vinicius. He does so well to get himself back on side. As the ball comes to him, he maybe has a little glance up, sees there's nobody in the penalty area, so he has to go for that near post area. As you say, though, Keith, it would be very difficult to beat any goalkeeper from that angle. But there's nobody in the box for him to play it to, so the only real option. But for me, you've probably got to go across the face of the goalkeeper. The near post area, always the strong position for the goalie.
And Zakaria put under pressure again. Majoli, Modric. That was King, and he held on to it there ahead of Carvajal. He wants the free kick, and I think the referee has, blown the whistle.
Yeah, look, Carvajal was just run over. He knew that he'd accidentally stood on the back, probably the Achilles of Moise Kean. And Keane just trotting away. I think he'll be all right, though.
Vlahovic coming back in to get a touch. Bonucci. Brenner. Side is furious. That ball hasn't been played early. A little flick in behind. Vlahovic, really good run on the wrong side of Militao. He did well to get back in and make that interception. He was beaten for a moment, but he recovered well.
That's what pace does for you, isn't it? Vlahovic is just waiting for the ball to drop. By that time, Militao's already got himself back into position. He's furious as well, Militao. He wants a goal kick there.
Kick. This might be the last opportunity of the first half for Juventus and Angel Di Maria. Bonucci is making his way into the penalty area. Called in, the header, and somehow it goes through everybody in the six. I think the whistle had gone for offside as well. Real Madrid not waiting around, they're on the counter. Benzema. Too much on the football, everything. Defensive playing from Danilo. Wow, they're putting Majoli a bit of pressure with that pass. Majoli does well. The final few seconds of the first half here at the Rose Bowl. Matty, your overall thoughts on the first 45 minutes?
Well, look, Real Madrid have been much the better side. We see that in terms of the scoreline, in terms of the possession statistics, 60% to 40%. I don't think Juventus are dealing with the high press very well. When Real Madrid really want to pressurise Juventus, they keep giving the ball away. I think we've seen a team playing full of confidence in Real Madrid. The side here that you said was the Champions League winning team. I think you're seeing that, the understanding that all the players have got with each other. With Juventus, it's very much a side not playing with confidence. And at times it hasn't been great going forward, the cohesion or lack thereof of the cohesion going forward. And Vlahovic, for me, just the anonymity of that centre forward has made it very difficult for Juventus to be successful going forward, certainly so far.
They've been linked with a couple of forwards recently, Juventus. I think Martial's name is one that's popped up. transfer window. It's only far from closed. Vinicius. Flick over the defender. The fans loving that. Modric can have a minimum of 2 additional here at the end of the first half. A bit of space the other way for Di Maria. Perhaps a couple of years ago that was space that Di Maria would attack and gallop into, but more of a veteran now at this stage of his career. Perhaps saving those moments for the season as well.
I think so. I think he has a modicum of pace still left in those old legs, Di Maria, but I think now it's more about the manipulation of the ball and that technical ability to find pockets of space and to pick out the, other players for Juventus, for teammates, rather than dribbling past multiple people.
Well, wide. Can he get the delivery? And Valverde closes him down well. It's been a good battle. Cruz. Vinicius. Benzema. Still worked out. Vinicius, Benzema. About to hit 2 minutes. I think that might be it. All eyes on Michael Rancho. And there is the half-time whistle. Thoroughly entertaining first 45 minutes here between the reigning Champions League winners and Italian giant Juventus. Karim Benzema. The only goal of the match from the penalty spot after Vinicius was taken down. Real Madrid have had some other chances as well. But at half-time here at the Rose Bowl in California, the score is Real Madrid 1, Juventus 0.